Hello, friends. Welcome once again to yet another video among the Pixlpal firmware tutorial series. In this particular video, we'll be talking about how to render text on the Pixlpal display while developing your application. So starting off, we have an example that shows that already. We'll just talk through the example. So this is the example file. I would simply just copy the example app so we can launch it from uh, the main function. Okay, it's equally a full screen application, so we should have all the squiggle lines disappear. Moving back to the example file, we see that the example have the typical Pixlpal firmware app layout, and after initialization, we start off with the text elements which we wish to draw. Now, there are three main types of text you can draw. Those are the moment. What we've implemented so far are three types of texts. We have fixed text. We have scroll text. If you wish the text to scroll from one part of the screen to the other, or if you wish the text to be fixed. The third is center text. And an example of center text is the New York text being displayed within this application. You would notice it stays at the middle of the screen with respect to the x-axis. However, this example implements two text examples. Starting off with the fixed text, what you do within your application task, you create a text object which is of the class mtb fixed text. I would go ahead and open this so you'd see the content. We have the mtb fixed text class within the mtb graphics header. We have the center text as well as the scroll text. The scroll text is in a different file. Okay, moving back. Now you declare the object. The very first two parameters specify the X and Y coordinates of your text, which is exactly the top left corner where your text will begin to print. The third parameter is the font type, as which has the size specified. I would move on to the fonts we have available within the Pixlpal firmware. There are various sizes and text type. Here we have terminal text font, which is 8 by 12. We have smaller versions of the same terminal fonts up here. Notice this is within the fonts folder, or font header file rather. We have the same terminal, which is a 6 by 8, and they are all static text implementation. These are stored within the Flash program. Within this tutorial, we would quickly show how to create new text, likely in for this particular tutorial, we'll just demonstrate writing text at a later tutorial video. If you wish to implement your own text based on the type of font and the size of the font, would show you how to go about that. But for this particular, we have multiple texts which you can use We have even smaller versions of text, 4 by 6. You can try out the examples using any of these texts. However, for this example, we'll be using 8 by 12, and you specify the text color. For the scroll text, similar, you specify the coordinates where the text will scroll within the Pixlpal. The third parameter is the span. Now the total span of your screen on the x-axis is a total of 128 pixels. However, you may want the text to just scroll within a shorter span. Let's say from this point to this point. You don't want the scrolling text appearing here or here. So your span will be the number of pixels starting from the coordinates which were specified at the first two parameters. We'll demonstrate when we run this app. You specify your font, the color of your text, as well as this parameter specifies the delay. Now, what we mean by delay is how many milliseconds does the text stays before it shifts to the left. It's in the process of shifting that you see it appears that the text is scrolling. So 20 here implies 20 milliseconds before the next shift to the left, while the last parameter indicates how many uh, how many times do you wish the scrolling text to appear. That is, after the first scroll, should it scroll for a single time or multiple? If I specify 5, the text scrolls 5 times across the screen, depending on the span you indicated. For the purpose of this video, we'll specify 1. You can test later on. The reason for 1, we put the text inside the loop, which we expect to scroll every 15 seconds. While testing, you can adjust these parameters to see how it changes. Now, after having the objects defined using their constructors, you go ahead and print the text in your program when you wish. Now we'll go ahead using the fixed text to write hello world to the display at the coordinates we specified. Now the coordinates stay fixed. However, you can change the color for a particular text. The font and coordinates stay fixed, but the color of your text can change, which is demonstrated using this example, though at the moment we have it commented out. The program then goes into your loop and the text scroll object fires continuously after every 15 seconds. We have the text which will scroll, Pixlpal, a project by Metabit Cybernetics. That will be it. I would go ahead and run this app so you'd see it in demonstration. Yeah, while that goes on, just as similar as the fixed text, you can change the color of your scrolling text at will, depending on if items, that's your application changes. For instance, I would uncomment this as soon as a different text is written with a different color, however, the same object. we use the same object over here. After the first scroll, the very next object will be written. Since they are exactly the same object, this text will not be interrupted by this. Rather, after these have successfully scrolled, the next would appear. Now we can see on our screen, hello world, which is a fixed text at this coordinate. Though it appears to be at the middle, we'll change that to see the changes. And we can see the scrolling text with white color as we specified, scrolling every 15 minutes. Now I'll change the coordinates and I would leave this text so you'd see how that would reflect on the Pixlpal screen. Let's change this to 5, which should start off at the top left of our screen. Now go ahead and compile, then you flash. While that goes on, okay, we simply wait. That shouldn't take so much time. Compilation have started. Okay, we should be done any moment. Yeah, after initialization, we should see the changes appear on the Pixlpal screen. Yeah, so we can see hello world appears at the top left. The very first text scrolls without interruption. The next text scrolls with its own color and text. However, remember the object remains the same. So that is it about the Pixlpal text app demo. Now you can see the new, upon changing the color, the very first text now maintains the new color. If you wish, you can always maintain a particular or specify a particular color for a particular type of text, or change the color for all other text the object will be used to print. That'll be it for this tutorial. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one. If there are any questions or comments, go ahead and make that in the comments section. You can experiment with the center text, which, let's see the API quickly. Okay, we'll just go straight. Let's implement that MTB center text. Example center text. Okay. Copilot have filled in the rest for us. So we can see this is the coordinates where exactly the middle of the text. This is the font and this is the color. We can then go ahead and print the text. Example center text. Okay, welcome to Pixlpal. Let's make this short and just write welcome. We go ahead and compile. Let's make sure both, okay, this text wouldn't coincide with the very first. Let's compile and see how it appears on the screen. Okay, the program is flashing. We should have that completed in less than 10 seconds from now. Okay, that's done. We wait for initialization. We should see both the fixed as well as the, okay, both are now written, though they overlapped a bit. We can see the welcome exactly centered at the coordinate which we specified. And we can see it maintain the color as well as the text. That will be it for this tutorial. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one.